Fletch, I already know you were excited and on a level about that Red Wings win last night.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. I didn't catch as much of it as I should have, but they're making me feel good. I was getting mad at the beginning of the season. I was yelling at the TV with them, and I think Lalonde's pulling it together. I'm super stoked to see where they go. And even if they don't make the playoffs this season, they're going somewhere. It's the right direction.
They will make it.
You can't put that energy out there, baby. I'm all in now.
Yep.
Now I'm all in now. These Red Wings are going to make the playoffs, Sam. I tell you. I'm excited. Yesterday, before we finished the show, Sam, we said the Detroit Red Wings coming to the season, Red Wings fans want them to challenge the competitive teams, challenge the Oilers, challenge the Rangers, challenge the Lightning, challenge the Avalanche, challenge those teams, but then be competitive in those games, but also feel like we could get there to the playoffs, feel like we were right there on the bubble. Well, last night they didn't only challenge the Rangers, who at one point were the favorite to win the Stanley Cup last season. Maz, in your words, what did they do, Maz?
They dog walked them.
They dog walked them. Maz, talk about it.
A beautiful game. I had it on. It was on every television last night at Harbor Lanes, and I just couldn't take my eyes off them. They looked great. Dirty. Did you see that dirty cross-check late in the third period? I mean,
made my heart smile.
It should have took them right out of the game and suspended them, but you know what? They beat the Rangers, who were great on the road. They were 17-5-5 coming into last night's game, and they beat the daylights out of the Red Wings about a month ago, and they didn't forget. Yeah. Red Wings came back, and they just took it to them. They just look like they are ready to go. And they're going to be buyers, I think, at the trade deadline, which is coming up. NHL trade deadline is always cool.
7 out of 8 wins now for the Detroit Red Wings, and we talked about it yesterday. You talked about Villahuso. I was excited to get him in the offseason. He was going to help stop the bleeding. They would score 6 points last season, but they would give up 7-8 goals. Seeming as though they're stopping that. Is also another guy from the free agency, Cobb. Cobb was tremendous last night. 3 points, 2 assists, 1 goal. When you win in free agency, man, you have a good season.
Oh, yes. Speaking of 7 of 8 wins, it's got me feeling a certain way. Look at what I got right here.
He's drinking the Red Wing.
Not the Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid, but the Red Wing Kool-Aid, because last night was the biggest win a professional sports team in Detroit has had at LCA ever. And if you will allow me, got some Kool-Aid to chug.
Take a sip there, Sam.
Take a sip.
Good for you.
Okay, chug it then. Oh, he's going all in. Ladies and gentlemen, that was more than a sip.
Wow.
That was more than a sip of the Red Wings juice. This man's all in. Flannel Sam, why are you all in on the Detroit Red Wings?
I am all in because when there was a time in the season post All-Star break when they were teetering a little bit, they responded going 7 out of 8, including 4 wins on the road, 3 on the West Coast. Unbelievable.
Ooh. They never do that.
They never do that. And it's the way they are built. The Yzer plan is coming into fruition. You've got Dylan Larkin having the best season of his career in these 8 games. 13 points. That is some 1C type of energy right there. And if you're telling me for sure that Dylan Larkin isn't a 1C,
come on, Dylan.
You know what? He might not be, but he's playing like one now, and he is going to get paid. He has earned his money. And you even talk about last night. They not only beat the New York Rangers, they beat that ass. They dog walk them. They curb stomped them. Every single adjective that you can possibly use is what the Red Wings did against a team that is above them, a team that is better than them. But the Red Wings protected home ice. It was probably one of the more electric atmospheres at LCA I've ever seen. I wasn't there, but you could just feel it on TV. It was unbelievable. And we talk about guys who are contributing. David Perron, free agent, 2 assists last night. Filip Hronek, defenseman, had a goal. He's their highest scoring defenseman, and he has a career high in plus-minus of +12 this season. Andrew Kopp, who you mentioned, a goal and 2 assists. Michael Rasmussen, a 2017 first-round pick, who had looked a little bit like a bust before this season, but is contributing, having his best season of his career. And even Filip Zadina, a first-round draft pick who has basically been a complete and utter bust in the NHL so far. Let's just call a spade a spade. But when you talk about hockey, you need lines. You need to be deep, like 3-4 line deep. And even if you are a bust like Filip Zadina, you can contribute in a game like this. You can score a goal on one of the biggest game of the season so far. And we talk about defensively. In the last 8 games, they've only allowed 16 goals, which is 2 per game. And offensively, they've scored 32 goals, which is 4 per game. That is an unbelievable ratio. I've never seen a Red Wings team since way back in the day when they were actually making the playoffs have this good of a stretch of hockey. It is unbelievable to see, and it's built upon young guys, free agents. They're here to stay.
Yeah. I never was a fan of the term bust. And the only reason I wasn't is because as you really start to pay attention to draft picks, it depends on what city draft picks goes to, who's coaching those cities, what team, how was management at the time, where's your mindset at the time, what goes on. I was always of the favor of maybe disappointed with the pick or something along those lines, because people revamp themselves, people rebuild themselves, re-image themselves. There's been a lot of players that have just needed a new space, needed a new place, or they needed a new situation. So it seems like maybe Zadina has found a little bit of that magic, new situation for him, and now he's having a little bit of success.
Isn't it something how it's like a chemistry project that you keep trying and you keep trying and you see a little move here, a little move there by Steve Yzerman, and now you see it coming to fruition, just like what Brad Holmes is doing with the Lions. You see little dink here, little dink there. Oh, we're going to bring back that 3-win team. Why are you bringing back a 3-win team? We know something about these guys. These guys, the Lions and this Red Wing team, are all coming together right when they need to. And it's great to watch. And hopefully they're going to give us a great decade ahead.
The good thing is, the key is you see it. That's the key. The key is Detroit Lions fans are seeing what Brad Holmes is doing. They're seeing what Dan Campbell is maturing into. You're seeing what Steve Yzerman is doing with the Red Wings. You're seeing that process. I think it hasn't been the case in the sports and Detroit franchises. You haven't seen what they were talking about. Al Avila told us forever, this is what's going to happen. We didn't see it. Name the Detroit Lions coach, and I'll tell you what he has said, and you didn't see it. Red Wings, they struggled. They struggled for the last 12 years, I would say. Now you're starting to see it come to fruition. That's all fans want to see, I think, in any sports, in any town, is you want to see what people are talking about to make sure they're not blowing smoke.
Think about this, and this kind of speaks to the depth of talent that the Detroit Red Wings have. This season, they have 8 players who have scored at least 29 points. We're just talking offensively. Yeah. Tyler Bertuzzi hasn't. He's been hurt. He's back. Jacob Verana has missed basically the entire season. He's back. Robbie Fabry missed a huge chunk of the season. He is back. They are not only good, they are as healthy as they've ever been. And you have 3 goal scorers who haven't been able to count on. You haven't been able to count on throughout the whole season, and now they are all back. In addition to, they've got a goalie, they've got a young defenseman in Mo Sider. Ben Sherratt is the veteran that's been sort of paired with him. I love this team, man. Yeah. And this is the most excited I've been about a Red Wings team in years, and it kind of mirrors, like Tom Mazaway said, about the excitement that we all felt for the Detroit Lions this season, because they were actually in a playoff push, and the Red Wings are in a playoff push. And I think at this point, they are very well set up to not only be in a push, but make it, and make it comfortably.
Yeah, last 2-3 years, last 3-4 years, if you're a Detroit fan, you're looking for the team to celebrate. Yep. You're looking for the team to cheer for. Man, as the football season starts, as soon as it's in the 4th week, season's over. Correct. You can't cheer for that. Then that season's over with. You stumble into LCA to watch the Pistons. It's no good there because they're not winning. And then you're like, well, our once proud Red Wings hockey town, they're a shell of them former selves. So you just haven't had anything to cheer for. So now, in a season where the Detroit Lions win 8 out of 10 in the last 10 games of the season, almost get to the playoffs, you have that momentum riding into what they're going to have in the offseason and the draft. And now the Detroit Red Wings are giving you something to cheer for as well. So what Steve Yzerman and what Darren has been saying on the show for the better part of 2 years, trust the Yzer plan, is now coming to fruition. So you're having something else to cheer for. It's not a dead period. Man, I'm happy. I'm happy for Detroit fans because you guys deserve it. You guys have been miserable for the last 8 years or so.
Look how hard the Pistons played last night. They're a bucket that probably shouldn't have counted. A buzzer beater beat them against Orlando on the road. They were a 7-point underdog. He came down to the last shot. They could have won that game against Paolo Banchero and the Magic. He's going to be Rookie of the Year. And then look what Michigan did. What did I tell you they do? They dog-walked Rutgers. They won it from start to finish. That was easy money, and I gave it to you yesterday.
How much you bet?
Watch out! I only put $20 on them.
You want money back?
I know. They were plus 170, so I made a few bucks.
Yeah,
almost doubled my money.
That's good, man.
That's no big deal. I'm just saying. I'm not a big bettor anymore.
A win is a win.
A win's a win, man. Win's a win.
What a night of sports. You got Michigan beating Rutgers, holding them to 45 points. It's a win on the road in the Big Ten against a team with a winning Big Ten record. That is absolutely huge.
And that was favored to win, too.
It was a great win, and they're really bolstering their tournament hopes. You need wins like that if you're Michigan, if you want to get in.
Got to keep going, though.
Absolutely.
Notice I ignored Maz when he said they almost beat Orlando. I was like, yeah, Orlando's like the worst team in the NBA.
Well,
I'm not giving you points.
They do have a rookie of the year on that team.
This is true. He is deserving of rookie of the year, but they also have the worst record in the NBA.
And our old friend Franz Wagner, who's showing
Michigan
out.
guy.
Absolutely. Well,
Hey,
we gotta
keep losing,
yes.
Pistons. But lose like this.
Yeah.